and henceforth we shall list the canon of all nerdery that ever was or ever will be. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 signs that you're a nerd.
Jaws language, vaudeville rot.
For this list, we're throwing out a few clues that you can use to figure out whether or not you are king or queen of the nerds, or just a nerdling.
Abed, don't help him. You're the dungeon master. Just kill Pierce and give Neil back his sword. He's upset.
In no way are we judging nerds. Hey, we are pretty nerdy ourselves. We're just saying that if you fall into any of these categories, your membership in the Nerd Club is almost assured.
With his dying breath, he utters, "The Dark Lord will kill you all."
Wait, these things can talk?
Number 10, you hate being asked if you like The Big Bang Theory.
Do you want to join us for Thai food and a Superman movie marathon?
A marathon? Wow, how many Superman movies are there?
You're kidding, right?
The Big Bang Theory is a huge hit, but you don't want to be associated with its all-star cast of power nerds.
No, we were just wondering why the guys like this stuff so much, so we thought we'd give it a try.
As funny as the show can be, its dated stereotypes of nerds and nerd culture are a big turnoff to anyone inside the zeitgeist. It's a transparent counterfeit of everything geeks love, masquerading as authenticity, with many of the show's references coming off as heavy-handed and overt.
All right, well, who's the best superhero?
Can't ask a question like that in here. You trying to start a rumble?
As a real nerd, you know you don't actually talk like that, but that's definitely how you sound to other people.
This is my Comic-Con makeup. I love you, but there are some things a man doesn't share with his girlfriend.
It's hard for those who wear their nerd cred on their sleeve to get behind this show, and its popularity only fuels that resentment. Sorry, is our nerd showing? It's a touchy subject.
Gentlemen.
Number 9, you have large collections of memorabilia.
That's funny. I didn't even know you girls talked like that.
Do you have movie figurines in plain view and in the packaging in your home? Comic books on display? Take a good look at the posters on your wall. What does your board game collection look like?
Yeah, I think he likes action figures even more than you.
Over the years, you may have amassed a few things. Literal physical things that beautifully demonstrate a level of geekdom that might shock the average individual. Even if you can't afford that $150 Lego Millennium Falcon, you still want it. And you might just save up to get it by skipping an evening with friends. But is that even a problem? No. You cherish the experience to load up on your memorabilia stockpile, which is proudly exhibited at the heart of Nerd HQ.
I just sold a guy's G.I. Joe for $1,000.
Really?
Do you have any of those?
Yeah,
You do?
I have 47 of them.
Number 8. You know what a D20 and THAC0 is.
What do you call that crap with the Dungeons and the Dragons?
Dungeons and Dragons?
That's the crap.
Loving Star Wars, waiting in line to see the new superhero movie, or playing a few video games are no longer things that separate nerds from average people. Dungeons and Dragons, however, that's still a place that only true nerds call home.
Shouldn't there be a board or some pieces or something to Jenga?
No, this is a role-playing game. It takes place entirely in our collective imagination.
Not only is the level of organization required to coordinate an evening of tabletop role-playing games too much for the casual geek, learning and keeping up with the ever-changing rules definitely also earns you serious nerd cred.
I take my throwing knife and throw it knife style.
You do 10 points of damage.
Look at that. What am I not good at?
Sex.
So if you don't know what a 20-sided die is for, or why you need to know your character's chance to hit an armor class of 0, you might have to step aside.
Can't hear you over the sound of me rubbing his sword on my balls.
Pierce, you!
You have successfully rubbed your balls on the sword.
Number 7, you're oddly formal in your online communications. Whether or not you have an email signature that involves Latin, Klingon, or Dothraki, you still may show other signs of online nerdery.
27 lawyers in the room. Anybody know post hoc ergo propter hoc? Josh?
Being overly polite in emails, especially emails to your friends, and using words like gentleman or milady is a dead giveaway. Terms like good sir or kind sir may also be in your repertoire.
Right in the middle of things, I guess you called her milady?
You may even proceed an epic YouTube comment rant with such words, perhaps to mask your nerd rage or even to lend some humor to your meltdown.
So you get nothing! You lose! Good day, sir!
Sure, these habits may have formed from spending so much time with your online guild, but when you leave that fantasy world, some of the formal dialogue should stay behind.
Hello.
Number 6. You think a fedora is a cool fashion accessory.
You lost today, kid. But it doesn't mean you have to like it.
Unless you're a badass archaeologist with a whip and a blasé attitude, you shouldn't even bother bringing a fedora home from the fedora store. How can you tell if you're wearing a fedora properly? Well, look down. Do you happen to be wearing a tailored suit and have a cigarette hanging out of your yap? Or are you wearing a gamer tee and ill-fitting jeans? Yeah, that's what we thought. One does not simply plop a fedora on one's head and expect it to match perfectly with the rest of one's casual clothing.
Vegas hat! Vegas hat!
Vegas!
That's ugly.
Also, that fedora you love is probably a trilby. At least learn the proper terms if you're gonna go full nerd.
A fedora.
I'm Indiana Jones. I'm Indiana Jones!
Number 5. You cringe when people confuse Star Trek with Star Wars.
So, live long and prosper. Whatever.
We think we can all agree. Star Trek and Star Wars are completely different things. Just because they're both set in space doesn't mean they have much else in common. It's obvious where the mistake comes from. The title similarity is an unfortunate coincidence. But with the franchises being as popular as they are, you will accept no excuse.
I got him! Great hit! Don't get cocky!
Believe us, we understand your frustration when you mention William Shatner, and they reply with, "Nah, I don't really watch Star Wars."
Nice poster. Oh, what, like you a big fan of the Fat? No. It's always more of a Star Wars guy. Star Wars guy. Who is this man?
You know you probably shouldn't correct them, but if you don't, then that person will have to live their entire lives not knowing the difference. And you definitely can't have that, can you?
You are a sad, strange little man, and you have my pity. Farewell.
Number 4. You enjoy debates about trivial and fictional things.
The first season, when you watch it the second time, is better than the third season. And the fourth season, when you watch it the fifth time, is equal to...
Ask yourself, good sirs and fairest of maidens, is it really crucial to understand the importance of Trek, Wars, B5, BSG, or Firefly in the larger scheme of things?
We've done the impossible. That makes us mighty.
Of course it is. Because you're a nerd, such conversations actually bring intense pleasure.
Okay, he's a Wookiee, and his kind is actually more intelligent than they appear.
That's why you have strong opinions on the following statements. Scully was way too good for Mulder, Lost made sense, and Sliders is an underappreciated masterpiece. But there are some social situations where you can and should let the little things go. Example, dinner with your in-laws. If they think Spider-Man is in the Justice League, that Call of Duty is the best video game ever, or that Greedo shot first, you can let it slide. This time.
No! Okay, Tyrion Lannister, why don't you just cast a spell and get us the waffle iron back?
Oh, okay. I don't even have time to tell you how wrong you are. Actually, it's gonna bug me if I don't.
Number 3, you wear t-shirts that make deep references. If you get T-Fury emails and you actually get the references on everything they have in stock, you may be a nerd. Yep, that meathead at the gym has a t-shirt with Captain America's shield on it, and your dad uses a Superman magnet to tack his bills to the fridge, but it takes a true nerd to wear a t-shirt with obscure and layered references.
Star Wars fun fact number 7. George Lucas based the film structure on Akira Kurosawa's The Hidden Fortress.
Because constantly quoting movies and TV shows isn't enough, right? Maybe you can clothe yourself for a week entirely with swag you bought on ThinkGeek or Loot Crate, but you probably shouldn't. Especially for that button-down office job interview you've got on Tuesday. Also, that Teenage Mutant Ninja Squirtle shirt probably doesn't even fit anymore anyway. Number 2, you quote lines in fake languages.
What's the Elvish word for friend?
Melon.
You've seen The Lord of the Rings enough that you've memorized all the Elvish. You bothered to remember what Valar Morghulis means in High Valyrian.
Valar Morghulis. Yes. All men must die.
Your Klingon to English dictionary is dog-eared and worn, and your Wookiee is dead on. But that's not the case for everyone, and spouting any of these fictional languages on the regular may result in awkward silences and wide-eyed stares.
I'm Slowski Cooch! Klingon insult. You have no honor.
There are some instances where these pieces of knowledge would come in handy, but let's face it, the Forest of Mirkwood is just too far away, Westeros seems pretty sketchy at this point, and you're not going to be involving yourself in any Klingon honor rituals anytime soon, we hope.
Hak, Zhaj, Shokov Moach.
So all we're saying is, think before you quote.
That means nothing. It's gibberish.
What?
That's not gibberish, it's Klingon.
Before we unveil our number one pick, here are some honorable mentions.
I don't believe it.
That is why you fail.
And I told you guys you didn't have to dress up.
Oh, we were wearing this when you called.
Yeah, when we dress up, you'll know it.
And oh my god, you guys would make the best Luke and Han.
Excuse me?
Oh, Star Wars cosplay.
Cosplay?
Costume play.
One does not simply walk into Mordor.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Number one, you're super into extended universes and lore.
Many Bothans died to bring us this information.
Sometimes fictional universes can be overwhelming, especially if you're waist deep in that world's expanded lore.
Welcome to Level 7.
When a story is just too big and interesting for its original medium, an expanded or extended universe is needed to answer the questions that us geeks so often have.
This never would have happened with the Starks in power.
Take a film series like Star Wars.
Use the Force, Luke.
After the original trilogy was over, fans wanted more, and thus novels, comic books, and video games expand on the story and the universe. Fan of the Harry Potter franchise? Check out Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. You have to be a next-level nerd to really follow all of this extra canon and keep track of what counts and what doesn't. But it's that love and devotion for these fictional worlds that really separates the geeks from the plebs. Do you agree with our list? What do you think makes one a serious nerd?
I challenge you to find a single reference to Kryptonian skin cells.
Challenge accepted.
For more super nerdy top 10s published every day, good sirs, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
Valar Morghulis.